Greetings, royal family. Okay, I'm gonna try to keep it calm because this episode was crazy. So, growing up hip hop, season 5, growing up hip hop LA, season 5, episode 2. So, hopefully, you guys seen the first episode and you seen this one. If not, I will do my best to quickly break it down for you. All right. So remember the ending of the season premiere of season 5. Angela was in the car. She was in the car with JoJo. She was hot. She was on her way to crash Romeo's party because she was not invited. To confront him about the things that he was saying to Nessa, the discussion that he had with Angela's sister. So we open up this episode with Angela. She's locked and loaded. She is ready. You know, she's going off in the car on the way to Romeo's party. And JoJo at this point is just sitting there. Now, Romeo had a conversation with Vanessa. Vanessa told JoJo. JoJo was the one that told Angela this. So anyway, now remember, again, she was not invited to the party, but she is ready to confront Romeo about, you know, the things that he was saying. Anyway, so Angela thinks that Romeo is weird. Why? Because he was talking to Vanessa about her. She feels that if he had something to say, he should say it to her. She also doesn't like the fact that Romeo asked Vanessa to plan his going away party. And she, again, admits that she was not invited, but she going anyway. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I saw that he invited Vanessa over in the first episode and wanted to talk to her and things like that and wanted to get her insight to help him plan the party, I said to myself, Vanessa's a party planner? Because she was even taken aback by that. Was that a little bit petty of Romeo? Probably. It probably was. But remember, he is cool with JoJo, Vanessa, and Angela. And he got cool with the other Simmons siblings through Angela. But I did thinking back, it's like, yeah, he wanted to get under Angela's skin because Vanessa probably would tell him, oh yeah, I'm planning Romeo's party. And plus there might be a little static there because he did admit a couple of seasons ago that he had a crush on Vanessa initially. So, you know, Angela, she didn't like that because she always has to be first. Moving along, Titi, okay? Cousin Titi is back in town. Cousin Titi looks great. She got a little bit of a makeover, had a couple of enhancements, but they look great. Very classy, nice. So it's good to see Titi. I like Titi. So she walks into the venue where Romeo's party is going to be. Now, Vanessa is there because she's setting up before all the guests arrive. So Titi is just like, oh my gosh, you know, hey, you know, greeting. And she's looking around and she's confused about the fact that the theme is The Great Gatsby. She says that, you know, the 1920s, Black people were still slaves. And she says that the theme should be Harlem Renaissance. Harlem Renaissance was also in the 20s. So I get what she was trying to say, and we're just going to blame it on editing because we like Cousin Titi. But she feels that The Great Gatsby doesn't have anything to do with Black people, and the Harlem Renaissance obviously did. So, listen, Reverend Rome wanted Great Gatsby, so that's what Nessa gave him, okay? So Nessa is telling Titi that she pretty much feels uncomfortable having planned the party for Romeo with all the drama that's going on. All right, Nessa, you need to grow up. If you had an issue with planning this party, which I understand why you would, because there is tension going on with Romeo and your sister, why didn't you just say that and back out of planning the party? Do you think Romeo really needs you to plan a party? I'm pretty sure he paid her. You think he paid her? He probably did. He probably paid her a pretty penny. And that's exactly why you took the job, Nessa. But you could have gracefully declined. You could have respectfully declined. And you could have told Romeo why you're declining. You didn't have to take it. So now she's like, oh, you know how Vanessa can be. Like, she's scared of Angela. So she's like, oh, you know, I just feel uncomfortable. I just feel weird. Oh my God, this is all my fault. I just don't know. It's like, girl, you had the opportunity to not take the job. But whatever. So Boogy shows up and what is his name? Lil Twist? I call him Lil Wayne 2.0. And Eazy-E's son, they show up. And they're wondering where everyone is. Hey, everyone's greeting each other. Angela's assistant / right hand. That's how she's labeled. Angela's right hand. So we don't know if that's your friend, your cousin, or what. That's your right hand. She is sitting with Vanessa because she's at the venue and she's kind of reporting to Angela, who is still on her way en route to the party. She's just like, yeah, you know, Angela's very upset. She's upset. She has every right to be. Like, what's going on? What's going on with Romeo? Why would he say these things? So I don't know who this assistant / right hand is, but she obviously agrees with everything Angela says, for the camera anyway. So Angela's confessional. Now, she is saying that she's irritated and mad and had no disagreement with Romeo. So she's just like, I don't understand why he would say these things. We had no argument. We had no disagreement. Like, I'm just irritated and I'm mad. So again, I asked this question in my previous review. You show up to a party that you're not invited to with the intent of being confrontational. Is that the best course of action, Vanessa? Why didn't Rome have security? Security, I would have pulled a Kenya Moore. Security, get her out of here. Now at this point, Romeo's 45 minutes late. All right. Now, Angela, she is ready to confront Rome. She's at the party because, you know, Angela never stays at any party. She always has the excuse, I got to go home to my son. I got to go home. So she'll come, you know, to get the camera time for 15 minutes tops, and then she's out. And she has the audacity to be complaining that Romeo is late for his party that she got dressed up for, that she wasn't invited to confront him. Then, yo, the nerve of this girl. You were not invited, Angela. Beat it. And you plan on trying to make a mockery of this man at his party. Like, you're just going to make a scene at the venue. Like, this girl is unbelievable. Now, she says that Vanessa brings up the fact that, you know, he's also said that you don't respond to his text messages. And she's just like, Romeo could call me. He has my number, this, that, and the third thing. So Vanessa brings up the group text that he sends out. So Angela says that she doesn't respond to the Bible verse text because he sends out a mass text message. And if he sent one to her personally, she would respond. Yo, this girl is bananas. She's nuts. Now, JoJo's angle is this. If Romeo doesn't want to be Angela's friend, then he should say that. Now, my whole thing is, I'm sure if he could get in contact with Angela, he probably would. But isn't this the issue? So somebody's lying. Like, she says that she can't get in contact with him. He says he can't get in contact with her. She doesn't respond. Obviously, somebody's lying. So we're probably going to find out who. I just think at this point, like, JoJo is kind of covering. Well, I thought that JoJo was kind of covering up for Angela. Same thing with Vanessa. And I think they're doing it for the sake of her whole wholesome image. It just seemed that way to me. You know, like, again, Angela can do no wrong. And not only that, Vanessa seems very timid to even confront her about certain things. Anyway. Listen, at this point, this is what I'm counting on. I'm counting on cousin Titi to get to the bottom of this, because you know Titi is nosy, and she will definitely get to the bottom of this with her nosy self. So Vanessa's acting like she's scared to tell Angela that she shouldn't confront Romeo at the party. And it's like, Vanessa's just like, do you think that this is something that may be able to be discussed at a later time? And Angela's like, no. You know, he wants to see. Click, click, boom. Like, she's acting like a 7-year-old. And I just don't understand, why the heck do they hands and gloves Angela like this? Like, I wonder if something happened to her when she was younger and maybe they all feel guilty, so they feel the need to kind of coddle her. Like, Vanessa just always seems afraid to call her out, or even when Angela does something to hurt Vanessa's feelings, she seems afraid to speak up for herself when it comes to Angela. And this is the way it's been with them, even when they had their own reality show way back in the day. Anyway, shifting gears. We finally see Peppa. She's getting dolled up, and she's on tour with her group. Remember, she's doing Salt-N-Pepa. They're doing a residency in, I think I said Arizona on my last video. I meant to say Vegas, Las Vegas. So she goes into talking about the lawsuit about with Spinderella, that Spinderella has issues with Salt-N-Pepa and that whole legal mumbo jumbo, and she could not get into it, she said in her confessionals, for legal reasons. But Pep, you look great. Back to Romeo's party. So Angela is continuing to act like a child. So Vanessa is questioning if she relayed the message correctly. So again, we see Vanessa questioning herself, like, maybe I got something wrong. No, girl. Everything that Romeo said is the truth, and I'm pretty sure it's not the first time that he has said it. So she's just nervous that all of this could blow up. And Angela is telling Boogie what's going on, and she's mingling and talking to everybody. And the funny part of this entire scene right here is that she very rarely films with the other cast members. If you notice, she never really has time for anybody else's stuff, and certain people, when they have functions, she doesn't show up. And that was like the recurring thing. Oh, if Angela shows up, at least Rome will show his face and he'll leave. But Angela, she's just like, So this is so hilarious. Like, she wants to mix and mingle with everybody. She wants to be heard. She wants to get her point out. And Romeo still nowhere to be found. He is over an hour late at this point. And Angela, like I said, she always dips out. So she's really complaining She's really complaining that he's taking too long to show up for his own party because she's ready to cuss him out. Now, Briana, she is outside waiting on Rome also. And she says that she kind of wants to talk to Angela because they have unfinished business. Now, remember when Angela ran off out of the little venue because Briana wanted to talk to her? And Angela's like, I don't do this. This is not Love and Hip Hop. I'm not doing this. You remember that? And she just ran in the car and she was out. So, yeah, she didn't even want to film with Briana. Anyway, so Romeo finally arrives, the man of the hour. So he's coming in, smooth operator in his Easter suit, and he's greeting his guests. And then he sees Angela and he says, oh, he was shocked to see her. But I think that production probably had already warned him. Somebody gave him the heads up. I think Boogie said that he texted him and told him, like, Angela's here and she is mad. So he probably took longer to get there so he could kind of gather his stuff together. Who knows? So he says to her, thank you for coming. To me, it was an inviting and pleasant tone. Her reply, what seems to be the problem? He repeats, thank you for coming. Like, she didn't even say, hey. She just said, what's the problem? Just ready to be confrontational. So she is adamant about confronting him. And he says to her that, we can talk about this in real life and not at his party. He wasn't rude to her. And she tells him that she's basically getting ready to leave. And I think that she expected him to be like, come on, Ange. Come on, Ange. No, don't leave. All right, let's meet up. I think that's what she was expecting because that is what Romeo has oftentimes displayed. That's the behavior that he's displayed. So he says, okay, thanks for coming. Mind you, they are in front of a few guests. And you can see, she didn't pull him aside or anything like that. She kind of just stood up in front of his face while he was walking in and greeting his guests, demanding to be heard. God, she's so childish. And other people can hear, like they can hear and they can see, even though no one is standing really directly to him at this point. His tone was like, come on, Ange, like, listen, we could talk about this in real life. No, what seems to be the problem? Just real extra. And she's like, no, actually, I'm getting ready to leave. He said, okay, thank you for coming. Bye. Anyway, so she's still going in and he tells her that it's cool. Like, it's all good. That he unfollowed everybody. He says that, that was in reference to his social media. And he said, like I said, like, I really appreciate you coming. And, we don't talk, we don't date or anything. And she's like, you're right. We don't. Like, he's not trying to argue. It's evident. He's not trying to argue. He asked, again, can we talk another time? He wants to talk another time. She walks off. And so does he. And he proceeds to greet his guests. Now, at this point, Dame Dash is at the party as well with is that his wife or fiance? Rocky, that's his fiance. I don't think they got married. Well, it's not broadcasted that they got married, but even though we don't know. So I'm going to say, I think they are fiance and are still engaged. Anyway, he is telling Boogie about his court cases. He's always got a court case. So he said that there's an issue with his daughter, where his daughter is tied up in court with their mother, some sort of custody hearing. And Boogie in his confessional says, well, that's got to take responsibility. You know, that's what happens when you have four kids by 4 different women. And then he does one of those. Anyway, moving along. Dame is like a professional victim. He's always in somebody's lawsuit, court case, something. Anyway, so Angela storms off. Okay. First of all, let's talk about the fashions. She looked amazing. And I love when she wears a red lip. Looks good on her. She had on black. And she did cover up her cleavage once she got into the venue with this sharp, I don't even know what to call it. It was like a jacket and it was like gold and parts of it were black. She looked great and she rocked her straight hair. So good outfit choice. I don't recall seeing her shoes. Anyway, so Vanessa, now Angela storms off, right? So Vanessa is attempting to stop her as she's walking out. And she was like, you know, what happened? So Angela tells Vanessa that Rome just kept repeating himself, thanks for coming, like he was his corporate response. Like she was ticked off. And I laughed at this because she made herself look absolutely ridiculous. And she said he didn't want to talk to her. Lies, lies, lies. And Vanessa's just like, you know, what did he say? He asked you 2-3 separate times, can we talk at a different time? Like, this is not the time or the place in a nutshell. Let's talk in real life. So what is wrong with Angela? Like, seriously, I'm really starting to think that there's something wrong with this girl. You crashed this man party. You didn't even say good evening to him. You didn't even ask him where he's going. Okay, granted, I get you're ticked off, but you crashed his party knowing that you weren't invited and you had an issue with him. This is how I know she expected him to basically chase behind her like a puppy, because she probably thought, so what? I don't care. I'm going to show up. I'm going to confront him. You expected him to sweat you, because nobody in their right mind who knows that they're having static with someone is going to show up to their party uninvited. She wasn't expecting that response. And see, that just further proves that you take him for granted. Anyway, I'm doing too much. So she couldn't get her way, basically. He just kept saying things. He was not argumentative with her. He said, thank you for coming. She didn't like that corporate answer, that robotic answer that he was giving her. See, you're throwing a temper tantrum now because you couldn't get your way. So she feels disrespected. She says, the way he talked to me, yo. She was trying to keep her composure. And you could tell Vanessa was just like, well, you know, I think that maybe we should leave, you know. She's like, the way he, let me tell you, somebody is pissed when their finger is pointing like this, not even wagging like this. The way he talked to me is not cool. There is no winning with this girl. There is no winning with this girl. She totally fails to see the error in her ways in this particular situation. So JoJo and Romeo talk while Vanessa is out there trying to calm Angela down, doing the most. So JoJo tells Rome that he told Vanessa that he should have told, wait, what did I write? That he told Vanessa he should have told Angela. Yeah, he told Vanessa that he should have told Angela, meaning Romeo should have told Angela how he felt. Then he proceeds to get loud, right? Because I think Romeo says, come on, you brought this tornado to my party, in a joking manner. So I guess because JoJo probably felt like, oh my God, I was about to say something. He probably felt like Romeo was calling him a chatty patty, put it that way. So he starts to get loud, like he gets so loud. So Romeo cuts the conversation, you know what I mean? And JoJo just keeps on getting loud. So Romeo walks off. And then Romeo's like, nah, I'm just saying, JoJo is like, if you feel like this, that, and the third, you know, it is what it is. You know, JoJo's just being extremely, extremely extra. So, you know, at this point, Rome is off talking to whomsoever. So Angela is heated, honey. She's outside at this point, so she's no longer in like the little corridor section of the venue. She's made her way outside, and she wants her mic off, and she is yelling at her right hand slash her assistant, or the one co-signing her BS. JoJo, he's still cutting up because he has to get his camera time, which is fine. We understand how that works. And he's telling Vanessa, you know what I'm talking about. Like, because everybody's coming over and JoJo's loud and he's making a scene. So everybody wants to know what's going on. And Nessa suggests that, look, we should all just leave. We all should just leave. So Briana is outside. She's getting her life and she is entertained. So this is what I want to say about JoJo. JoJo, you're doing all of this hype man stuff, but you, sir, put yourself in the middle of this. When Vanessa came to you and told you the info about what Romeo said, you had two options. The option that you obviously went with, to tell Angela yourself and to drag her along to the party that she was not invited to, and to co-sign her confronting Romeo at his going away party. You also had another option. You could have told Vanessa, you tell Angela that yourself. You put yourself in this. So, and Romeo didn't even say anything to you for you to go off. Oh my God. You volunteered to escort her to crash his party. Like, cut it out. I don't know. Did he tell her that she wasn't invited? I think he did. He told her that she wasn't invited also. So it's like, girl, let me not say girl. JoJo, knock it off. So, what did I put? Oh, yes. He said, yeah, he was the one that told her everything. Now that I think about it, Vanessa didn't say anything to him. Look, JoJo, you're a hit dog and you're hollering. We hear you loud and clear. Anyway, so JoJo's fiance, this part was funny, y'all. JoJo's fiance is standing outside because he's outside too, yelling and, you know, doing all of this, you know, all this extra stuff, right? And his fiance is standing there looking like, babe, you know you can't even fight. Like, that's the facial expression that she gave. Oh my God, he proceeds to say that he's the realest ninja on the show and everybody know that. Oh, JoJo, cut it out. So while JoJo is yelling, one of my faves, Mr. Percy, aka Master P, I call him Percy. Percy, he casually walks up. Mind you, JoJo's outside. There's a crowd outside watching JoJo make a spectacle of himself. So Master P walks up, you know, with his crew, and some of his crew members are his entourage. They're smirking and not paying him no attention. The coolest thing ever. He's like, what's up, man? How you doing? And proceeds to just walk inside. He didn't stop, didn't flinch. He didn't stop for the cameras or nothing. Totally unfazed by JoJo's ranting. Typical Taurus behavior. Because Master P's a Taurus, so am I. I'm telling you, we are not moved by all the theatrics and the at all. Ever. Doesn't faze us. So he enters the venue and he greets the guests. And it does seem like a little bit of editing wasn't like matching up, because it seemed like the party was getting ready to come to a close. So JoJo, he's still outside yelling. So Angela finally comes out, because at this point she left the venue. She was very upset. And then she went outside and then she went back in because she had to use the bathroom. And I was wondering, where did Vanessa go? So she finally comes back outside the bathroom. And she's asking JoJo what's wrong. And JoJo is just saying that Rome is bugging and he doesn't even pick up the phone anytime, etc. And JoJo calls Romeo fake, and there's no real friendship. Now Dame is leaving or walking down the street with his fiance, and Dame even asked in his confessional, like, what kind of bubblegum? He says, what kind of bubblegum-ish is this? And he bid everybody good night. He walked past, he was just like, all right, good night. And he's laughing at the fact that JoJo is doing all that yelling in front of the venue outside. He's like, come on, man, like, what kind of bubblegum-ish is this? Like, you outside of the venue yelling, doing all that. He's like, you know, he chuckles. So at this point, JoJo is getting ready to leave. Now, remember, when Angela first went outside and she wanted her mic off, she was waiting for her car. Where's my car? Where's my car? She had time to go back inside to use the bathroom. She comes back out. So Angela, she's still at the venue and she is waiting for her car. And at this point, I think it was 3 commercial breaks that had happened and Angela's car was nowhere to be found. So Boogie seems to think that Rome is brushing off Angela and brushing off JoJo, and he's taken aback by that because he's surprised because he says that the Simmons kids and him are very close. So they're pretty much like family. So then we see Little Eazy-E, which is Eazy-E's son, and Titi. So they're talking, and Titi thinks that Little Eazy is flirting with her. I forgot his name, Eric Jr. I don't remember. And Titi goes on to say that she's dating someone. Yada yada. Who cares? Good for you, Titi. We love it. So now people are leaving, and Angela is talking to Little Twist and Lil Eazy. Again, this is shocking. She does not talk to these people, her castmates, normally. She just acts like she's above them. So she's pretty much talking to them and she's ranting about the whole Romeo situation. And Lil Twist is just like, he wants everybody to get along. You know, half the time he's zooted up. So he just wants everybody to get along. But I do like Lil Twist because he's not confrontational and he doesn't like discord. Even from last season, he's all about bringing everybody together. He doesn't like all that noise and that rah-rah. You know, he just wants everybody to be at peace. So Angela's still acting like a little kid telling anyone who will listen about her tales of woe with Romeo. So she then decides to leave. And then she runs into Briana. This was funny. So Briana asked for a sit down, right? Because remember, they have unfinished business. So she wanted to talk to Angela for a very long time because she feels that Angela has never given her a chance and they never got the opportunity to talk. Angela actually agrees to meet up. Now, you ever notice like when an arrogant person gets like chopped down and they get embarrassed in front of a large group of people, they all of a sudden have this like niceness about them. They're just very nice to people who they normally wouldn't be nice to try to give off the facade that they're a nice person. Yeah, that's that's what it came across as, because she was being so friendly to Briana. Like, oh, you look nice. Like, yeah, you know. So again, you're willing to sit down with Briana, who you didn't even want to film with. You want to clear the air with her, but not Romeo. Okay, girl. Now, in her confessional at this point, she was rolling her eyes and basically talking about closure, and watch her body language in that scene. You know, it's fine. We can sit down with Briana and, you know, we can get closure about the situation. But she's rolling her eyes and trying to come across as if she wants to be peaceful. This episode was a cluster blank of too much. Like, it was too much going on, and like it was a lot going on. So if I seem all over the place, I try to keep my notes in order, but I'm just thinking back to the scenes and trying not to incorporate what I'm thinking and just stick to the plan here. So anyway, so she finally gets in her car, Angela. Mind you, most of the people have already left. Her car pulls up, that we've been waiting on for 3 commercial breaks now. Finally pulls up. And as Angela is getting in the car, Angela says, great, more stress, no problem. She says this after agreeing to sit down with Briana at a later date to converse about whatever it is that Briana wants to get off of her chest. So Romeo's final words, right? You see Romeo, his stuff is packing up his stuff, and you see him leaving his home, and he is doing his confessional. So he pretty much addressed why he unfollowed everyone. And he says, if you ask me why I unfollowed everyone, you would have to ask Oprah Winfrey and Beyonce. Now, at first I was like, what are you talking about, sir? But then again, his father is a Taurus. So I'm pretty sure his father had some sort of like influence in him giving this little speech. But I hung in there to try to see where he was going. I gave him a chance. He says that when you unfollow everybody, it gives you time to focus on you. Then I thought about it. Yeah, Beyonce doesn't follow anyone on her Instagram. And she has, of course, millions of followers. So when she goes on her Instagram, she sees no posts from anyone in her timeline. I think that's kind of smart. But anyway, and he also goes on to say, this is about my self-growth. He said, I unfollowed my grandmother, my little brother, my cousins. And he goes on to say that this is about him. And if people don't appreciate that, that's not his problem. And you know what? I can dig it. I can totally understand what it is that he's saying. And again, it sounds like a Taurus, his father, has pretty much schooled him about what is important as far as his future and his self-preservation. And I can totally relate. Like, the direction that he is choosing to steer his life, I respect it. I totally respect it. And people love you as long as they can control you, as long as you're running behind them. And they love to take advantage of your kindness. They love to take advantage of your loyalty. And they lean on that comfort of knowing, she'll always be there, or he'll always be there. And once you snatch that comfort level from under them, they go wild. So, fun fact about me, I always choose me first. And I just feel like you can't pour from an empty cup. And I know that that sounds cliche, but marinate on that. So I totally understand where Romeo is coming from. And I just don't think that I don't think he's being disrespectful unless they are editing out things to try to manipulate us. It's very possible, but just based on what we see, there's nothing wrong with that. People get tired, man. All these antics, all these games that Angela be pulling, and I don't know. Sometimes you just get tired of people. And JoJo saying that Romeo is fake and phony and stuff like that. Why did it take you getting mad to say that? Because prior to that, he was cool. But then in the same breath, you say you're the realest ninja on the show. So you haven't been keeping it real. I don't pay JoJo any attention. When people get hyped like that over nothing, like literally over nothing, they just want attention, and you just making a whole bunch of noise, and there's no logic in what you're saying, because you just said you're the realest one on the show. Like, what? You're at a Great Gatsby themed party. Like, who called for all the thugs? Like, Master P is about that life. And he's not even... Let me get off JoJo, because I already know what JoJo gives. So, Royal Family, that's it. What I think is this. Keep that same energy, Romeo. And I hope that the remainder of this show, I don't really want to see y'all talking and it going back to the way it was. I feel like if you guys are going to be friends, then Romeo, you need to set your boundaries. And if Angela is not willing to meet those standards as far as a friendship is concerned, then end it. People waste too many times. People waste too much time trying to make something be that is blatantly not. We are on borrowed time, okay? We don't know when we're going to be called home. And I feel like there is hundreds of billions and millions of people in this world. Go travel, get a passport, meet other people, learn different cultures, explore, go beyond your limited, some people, realm of understanding. Like, anyway, I'm ranting now, because now I'm about to start preaching like Reverend Rome. But Royal Family, that is it. This was good. This was good. Let me tell you something. The way he talked to me, Angela was heated. I feel like she got a dose of reality, and serves you right. That man ain't disrespect you. You need to be checked, and you really need to grow up. So next week, what are we gonna see? Oh God, Egypt and her man with this whole marriage foolishness. So hopefully I'll be able to hang in there for that, Royal Family. Be sure to like this video if you liked it. If you made it to the end, thank you for your patience. I know this video was like all over the place. There was a lot going on. If you've seen the episode and you have any idea of what the heck I'm talking about in my review, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Please be respectful to me and to one another and to yourselves. You can disagree. No issues there, as long as you disagree respectfully. Royal Family, I'm signing off, and we'll see these growing up hip-hop kids next week. Until next time, peace!